any of the films where there's not music. I don't think I couldn't think of a single moment that doesn't have music. And for the most part, and sometimes it's okay, but other times it so does not fit. You have an action scene, and like when you're watching an action scene, and this song you have some of the songs that are playing, and you're like, this
doesn't really happen in the first movie as much. That mainly happened. I at least noticed it happened in the sequels, but the constant music. Don't worry about that now. But the constant the constant music that is always playing throughout the movie. Every single scene has music that is almost as loud as the dialogue being said by the actors, and it is horribly distracting, and it is obvious that Michael Bay was not able to elicit a emotional response or any kind of feeling from any of the scenes that he is filming, so he's just gonna be like, we'll just put in music because it literally feels like, we'll just fix it in post. It's so lazy, and it's a sign of, at least in my own opinion, exceptionally poor direction.
Right.
And while we're on the subject of direction, the cinematography in this movie is god awful.
I've seen, I think in the second film, there was one point in which we thought that, so his style of sort of the, you know how it's sort of like, almost like it's sort of moving around, is okay
very Lord of the Rings
at times. You can
there are times
use
when
it
it's quite effective
at times, and there are times when it's effective, and it's okay at times, but he uses it constantly without shot. It's difficult. I challenge you to find more than 3 shots in any of the movies where the cameras are remaining still
the third one
for more than 5 seconds.
The third one has its
Okay,
moments.
the third one has moments, but I think I saw one in the second. I don't know if I can think of any in the fourth.
I think there were almost like a whopping 5 shots in a row where they actually held still, and then it just goes, and then it just awkwardly, and it's not even just the like that kind of thing. It goes. There's sometimes when it goes like that kind of how maddening must it be to shoot a Michael Bay movie when it's like, hey, so Michael, how do you want this scene to be filmed? Like, I want you to make the camera like this. Oh, okay. What about this part? I want you to make the camera go like this. Okay, what about this? Okay, like a couple days later into shooting, what do you want this scene to be like? I want you to. How about you do it like this time? How maddening must it be to work?
I imagine his face was becoming mad because it's probably like the cinematographer was just going, so what do you think about this scene? I just go, I go, whoosh!
Yeah, this guy isn't shy, but before we get into the action, the thing that I really want to point out is how poorly written this movie is, and something, excuse me, that is constantly going to come up in these reviews is how obnoxiously long these movies are, all of them.
Michael Bay is a sadomasochist who enjoys making you suffer, and I think that is what these films have proven to me. Because I remember once seeing a blog. I think I don't know if it was for stage plays or screenplays, but I've seen a similar advice for everyone. Is to be conservative. If there's a line, a character, a subplot, something that doesn't contribute to your story, cut it.
And there are exceptions to that when you have like a comedy or something like that, where the point is to make you laugh.
That still develops it in some way. And again, that's to make you laugh. But don't get attached to it. Don't be afraid to cut it. You need to cut it. Because you can't make it that it's going on tangents, like I keep on doing.
It's true, we do go.
Yeah, we go on tangents, but
we're people.
Yeah,
we'll go on tangents.
Just like you are. I forgot what I was saying now.
Streamlining plot.
Yeah, streamlining. So I don't feel for any of these films, but as well as this one, that they do that because there's so much they could cut.
The example I was going to use, and this is going to be a little bit of an of a thing. So, opening scene of the movie. Very good scene. Actually, we both completely agree that this is actually a very well done scene. It shows,
except for some
there are a couple
Hispanic man who eats alligators.
And when I say opening scene, I don't mean the cube when it's like knocking into asteroids or whatever, but I mean the opening scene when it shows the helicopter transform, which the movie didn't tell me this. I remember this from when I was a kid and I used to watch this movie, which, yeah, I'll admit, when I was a kid, I watched this movie. I was a kid, and I still am a kid, but when I was much younger than when I was now, I used to watch.
Well,
I used to watch
Charlie
this.
Griffin.
I used to watch this movie frequently, so I remember the helicopter Transformer's name was, I think it was Blackout.
Yeah, I remember that.
When he attacks the base, you get how insanely hard it is to destroy these guys. How they're not going to take bullets. A point we will be coming back to constantly.
Well, never. I think it was one people who said never in the history of cinema has an alien ever been damaged by a bullet.
Okay, but so you see the might that this thing has, this behemoth, as it destroys everything around it, and you get really the effects, which we will get into for this scene especially, work exceptionally well. There are little Michael Bay touches where it's constantly woo woo woo, like crazy stupid camera motions and that kind of stuff, and really cheesy dialogue. But for the most part, it's a good scene. Now,
maybe the cameraman is a street guy. He's just running away.
no, but the thing that I notice in that scene is that actually throughout the entire movie is that there are 4 main subplots. You have the Sam Witwicky thing with him trying to get the girl, and you know what? I'm not going to go into the whole thing of why it is that is totally unnecessary to the story. But the point of it is, if you're trying to make it a Spielbergian thing, I'll give you that. I'll give you your setup of the movie for now.
For some reason,
I'll
you
give
need
them that.
love interests. So that's...
Okay, so that's one. You have the military guys. You have John Voight, and well, actually no. You have the hackers and John Voight. So that's 2.
And
you have
that
the
one goes
hacker.
nowhere.
What?
And that one goes nowhere.
No.
Anyway.
I'm getting to that. You have the hackers. Again, goes nowhere, and you had the 4th one, which is the Decepticons also looking for the cube at the same time. Now, of those 4 subplots, what I would have liked is that if in the opening scene, and just bear with me for this, opening scene, there are no survivors. No survivors. By doing that, do you know how many times they cut back to these military guys? At least add 20 minutes. At least, if you take that out, at least subtract 20 minutes of the movie. At the very least. Subtract 20 minutes of the movie.
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, no, and I'm not even done there. What I'm saying is, right after that scene with Qatar, in Qatar, no, that would be fine. At least just the mom. Right after that scene with the Blackout, you have a consistent tone instead of just cutting to Sam Witwicky and his character introduction. You have some kind of thing where the John Voight, who's the whatever position in government, he immediately goes on television. He's like, okay, our base has been destroyed. There are no survivors except for like maybe one military general who got back here, and he is having like some kind of post-traumatic stress disorder or something or other. He's like in a coma or something. He can't talk, and it's like you get the might of just being around this thing. It's like Cthulhu. Just being around this thing just freaks you out, and so it would carry weight for the Transformers. You cut 20 minutes out there, and just by having John Voight do that thing, we understand that he has people on the job doing this stuff. And just by doing that, you've cut out another 20 minutes of the movie. 40 minutes right there, 2 subplots completely gone, and we have the length that a summer blockbuster, an average summer blockbuster should be, about 140 minutes long. It's the right length. The 2 subplots converge since the Decepticons eventually learn where Sam is, and you at least, and you know what, that doesn't fix the dozens and dozens of plot holes, inconsistencies, and just stupid little things that happen in this movie. But you know what? At least for the most part, it would be at least more streamlined than it was, and it wouldn't feel like an endurance test. This movie, especially the other 2 movies, just feel like endurance tests.
Oh yeah, well, I'll get more into that movie, especially
the sequels.
The sequels.
And third one.
Especially the second one for actually both of them for endurance. But I would say, and I think that's really what it comes down to. I think that my theory on action is not sold by effects, even really brilliant choreography. I think sells. Star Wars prequels as examples. What weight is what sells it. You look at Edge of Tomorrow, for example. I recently saw it, and what I thought was and the action scenes in themselves are not particularly incredible. They're not particularly well. I mean, they're well choreographed, but they're not like they're very inventive in how they're choreographed or something like that. Although they are fun. But the reason they're interesting is the impact. They carry weight with me. I am invested in the outcome of this action. Or you look at the original Star Wars films. Was the original fight between Ben Kenobi and Darth Vader particularly exciting how it was choreographed? No. There were two guys that were attacking each other's lightsabers.
But its simplicity also added to the characters since they were both much more old, and one was like old and the other was.
I'm not saying this is a flaw. I'm saying.
No, I understand.
Same with, or even with Empire Strikes Back. Are there some?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Why do we love that scene? Because we are invested in its outcome. And because of that, even though it might not have the same effects as a Transformers film, which by the way, I think the effects are really dated on the Transformers films. I would disagree with you on that, but it's a much better action scene.
I would also like to put in that in action scenes, a very important thing is to also add atmosphere, something that, this is actually just a little, something or other. The scene that you just talked about, the live action, like in terms of live action fights, it's not my all-time favorite action scene of all time. But if I'm talking about scenes with two human beings, like in a live action movie, that scene, Luke versus Vader, is my favorite action scene in any movie I've ever seen in my life. Even more than The Dark Knight, a movie that I do like more than Empire Strikes Back, but that scene. Also, the atmosphere. That is a very important thing. Like the way the thing is, that the scene is lit, the way that just like interactions off of characters, subtle little ticks. Like there are close-ups in that scene that like you can really see the tension on Luke's face. Or like the smoke, like little touches like that really make it so much more memorable. In Transformers, tell me if you've heard this before. They fight in a city, and a lot of things get destroyed. Wow. Who hasn't, like, how many movies have we seen that in? But
I can't think of a single film.
It's
not if I try.
It's ridiculous.
They don't do it in Man of Steel, I can tell you that. They don't do that.
Yeah, they do it in like 3 cities in Man of Steel. They up
it's different.
But on your point about the effects,
and now we're gonna be targeted by trolls for attacking Man of Steel.
Well, I already attacked Man of Steel earlier on, and I had a very good point anyway. Right. I will say it myself. I thought it was a good point, but whatever.
If you do
I think that the effects in this movie hold up remarkably well, and yes, that does not make a good movie. I understand that, but